county is defined as a political and administrative division of a state providing certain local governmental services. These counties occupy the local government. On September 25th, 1786, Luzerne County was formed from part of Northumberland County. It was named after Chevalier de la Luzerne. When it was founded, Luzerne County occupied a large portion of northeastern Pennsylvania. In order for Luzerne County to flourish, industrial pioneers took advantage of the excessive amount of anthracite coal in the region. However, as time went on, oil, gas, and electricity increased in popularity across the nation, while coal declined due to the difficulty of acquiring it, as well as the Knox Mine disaster in 1959. The River Slope Mine, an anthracite coal mine owned by the Knox Coal Company, flooded when coal company management had miners dig illegally under the Susquehanna River. 12 miners died, 69 others escaped, and this marked the end of the coal era for Luzerne County. Regardless of the actions of the Commonwealth, nearby mines were forced to close due to permanent damage. One estimate of the disaster's impact put the direct and indirect job loss at 7,500 and the payroll withdrawal at 32 million. Thus, Luzerne County experienced a recession when all of the coal mines and factories went out of business, which left employment at a dismal low. Fast forward to the 21st century, Luzerne County was greatly affected by the 2008 recession. The financial crisis was primarily caused by deregulation in the financial industry that permitted banks to engage in hedge fund trading with derivatives. Banks then demanded more mortgages to support the profitable sale of these derivatives. People couldn't pay off the mortgages and fell into debt. Home Rule was established in 2012 in response to the recession. The primary objective of the local government was to decrease the $400 million plus debt. Our experts will discuss the results of these economic tribulations and how Luzerne County is able to combat its 5.2% unemployment rate by stimulating the local economy and attracting businesses.
Is local government the best type of government to address Luzerne County's economic issues, or would it be the state government?
When in the way our federal system works is that you have different powers given to different governments. So you have municipal governments that actually have a lot of power on the very local level, your boroughs and your townships and your cities, to give a property tax break to a buyer for a property who says they're going to come and develop the property. So many people would say that is being a right place of government.
How do we bring employment to the big companies that are offered here?
We have like several new companies that come into the area, Chewy.com, Adidas, Pangania. There's a new company down outside of Nanticoke's retail. There's a True Value hardware facility coming in, 1.4 million, but they all need skilled labor. So I think as we provide that opportunity, you'll see people coming into the area, because people come in if there's employment.
How can the local government entice companies into the area?
Provide private industry incentives so that they will develop and they will invest their money into properties and facilities so that we can have that type of employment. If you've ever talked to a gentleman from North Point, Brent Myers, capital goes where capital is invited. So we have to provide those incentives, and if you get those incentives in place, then you will see the capital will come here and they'll provide opportunities which will lead to that.
Thank you.
How can the local government improve the economy?
To improve the economy, you need cash flow. And the only way you do that is by having successful businesses. Government can only do a certain amount as far as providing a pathway, but you must have those successful businesses to produce the income and cash that Mr. Bilbo talked about. That is what drives the economy.
How do you see the local economy in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think the local economy depends upon how we continue to do as far as successful government, successful in issues to bring in new companies that are quality companies, that are quality employers, that provide the types of employment benefits in addition to compensation, health care, reimbursement for college credits or training, those types of things. And I think right now we're on a very good path because we have some of those major companies, and what Mr. Bilbo referred to a little earlier. You have one comes into the area, two comes in the area, all the other major companies are looking there and say, what do they have? Why are they successful there? And they have a tendency to look at us more closely.
One last question. Anyone can answer. What are the potential barriers that the council may face when they're trying to improve the economy through these means? As I've already heard through the meeting, but
Probably our biggest problem is our finances. We've had a very large debt service for many, many years because we had accrued a large amount of debt prior to home rule taking over. That's still a major part of our budget. Obviously, we struggle with getting a balanced budget every year. We have efforts to try to keep the taxes down as much as we can, but in order to provide services, you have to have a certain amount of resources. But now we face two major financial obligations going forward. New voting machines, $4 million. 911, the technology involvement there. Analog technology is going out the window. Digital technology is the new technology. In order to provide that for 911, it's a $20 million investment estimated.
Essentially, what these members of the council are explaining is that business attractability is vital to Luzerne County's economy and lowering its unemployment rate. While we may have a very large debt and other financial obligations that disrupt tax abatements, we are able to overcome these by training a knowledgeable labor force, providing tax exemption programs, and infusing funds from businesses directly into the economy. Next, Executive County Manager David Pedri gives us a more in-depth understanding of the inner workings of tax abatements. How do you feel personally about how the economy is going for Luzerne County?
I feel like we're really coming around a corner here. I've been, I don't want to say that we have rose-colored glasses here, but let's be honest as to what we really have. Implementation of 5,000 new jobs in Luzerne County in the past 3 years with distribution center positions. Mostly, Chewy.com, Patagonia, Adidas, American Eagle in Hazleton area, True Value Hardware. That's 5,000 new jobs. That means that's 5,000 more people that are coming into the area that will hopefully get those positions.
Luzerne County's unemployment rate as early or as the stats were known as early as March 2019 was 5.2%, and the Pennsylvania's average is 3.9%. Why do you think we're slightly above the average?
I would just think it's opportunity, and I think it needs to come back around from where we're at. So the question is, where are our jobs? What type of jobs are we looking for? And where's the ability for us to fill those jobs from where we want to be? I know Luzerne County Community College is running some really great projects right now with regard to the trades, plumbing, HVAC, welding, truck driving. All of those trades, those people are finding jobs right away, right out of school, right at LCC, which is really a great program.
In regards to creating jobs, what would you feel is the better way to go? Creating like abatement programs such as LERTAs and implementing Keystone Opportunity Zones, or creating more trade programs and able to train more people in the trades to open up jobs like those?
Well, I think there's got to be a balance there. Okay, so you get something like a LERTA where there is a tax abatement side of things. It creates jobs, and what I like to see with LERTAs is was there something there before? Are we building something in order to get this LERTA? I go back to, once again, the Chewy.com, Adidas. This is right off of 81 in the Hanover Industrial Park. Those three giant buildings.
Oh, yeah.
So those have been, before there, that was vacant former coal strippings. So there's nothing there. Okay, so there's nothing there. We're not getting any tax dollars or anything from along those lines. North Point comes in, they're saying we're going to rebuild these things, we're going to get something into the area. Okay, so that's something there. Okay, so I think that's a part of it. But in addition, I see trades as a huge opportunity. I'm telling you, try to get a plumber to your house. There's not a ton of people who are doing these types of work.
So in your experience, what do you feel has been more beneficial, LERTAs or KOZs?
In my opinion, from what I've seen in Luzerne County, for my time as county manager for the last 3 years, is definitely a LERTA. What I've seen with KOZs, unfortunately, sometimes is a developer buys the land and they don't have to pay any taxes on the land or anything along those lines. It basically just sits on the land and waits until there's a Walmart or a Target or something like that. Hey, listen, we want to buy your land for you, and then you get a giant Now listen, I'm it's a broad generalization here. There are some people who did some great things with KOZ, so I'm not saying that everybody who has a KOZ didn't utilize them properly in any way, shape, or form. But in my opinion, what I've seen with Alerta is at least we get the tax money on the land, and then there is an idea as to what the timeline is in order to get that.
There's that stability.
There's a stability there. Whereas a KOZ is just there's nothing. There's no money's coming in at all.
So do you have any other examples of like you mentioned Chewy.com, Adidas, do you have any other examples of zones like that?
Well, recently there's been, the Chewy.com is the Hanover Industrial Park piece, and then right next to the entrance to Luzerne County campus is, you see those huge buildings going up there right now. That's the 1 million square foot buildings. That's True Value Hardware. That was Alerta as well. They're building into those locations as well. There was a KOZ extension, I want to say in 2015 or something like that, I believe in Pittston, for, once again, mined areas.
So like from what I've heard, like these alerts sound like super ideal and everything along those lines. What are the risks that run along with those?
Well, I mean, you're tying yourself up with a developer, and you're hoping that they create the jobs where you want to be. You're taking a leap of faith with these developers and these business people to say, hey, listen, we're going to, waiving taxes is not. It's a huge decision.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody needs to be able to pay their fair share, and I believe in this thing. We have to we make sure our students are educated. We make sure our roads are paved and those types of things, and we make sure 911 runs. And so when we say to somebody, hey, listen, you don't have to pay taxes on something, that's a huge decision and shouldn't be made lightly. However, there are instances where if we do this, then we get this. And so we gotta look at the developer in the eye and say, over the next 7 years or 8 years, are you gonna create, 800 or 500 family sustaining jobs here in Luzerne County? Are you gonna be able to do your part in order to sustain our community in Luzerne County? That's what we wanna be doing. That's the decision. But listen, we could have Alerta where that doesn't happen. Now, in my time as county manager these past 3 years, everybody's coming through from on our side of things. But yeah, if there could be a developer who says, thanks for the tax break, I'm not doing anything. And then
what is your response to businesses that have already resided in Luzerne County and have not received these tax cuts?
I would think that we need to work with people that are here as well. I would think that there's got to be some sort of balance across those lines. Whether there's a lot of times I've seen state grant opportunities for expansion for those things, but a rising tide lifts all boats. That's what we kind of tell some of these people that have been here for years and years and have paid their full. The more people that come in here, the better it's going to get for everybody else.
So you could probably say when you're working with other counties, you can, it's better to work with other counties.
I always said Northeastern Pennsylvania, if we're ever going to do anything, we need to do it as a group. Okay, so Lackawanna County, Luzerne County, Wayne, Pike, Monroe. In order for us to draw attention to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we need to work as a unit.
Mr. Petrie reiterates that having an effective labor force and a bounty of businesses is essential to a good economy. He explains that LERTers are more stable than KOZs because of the timeline attached, and despite some public disapproval and risk involved with LERTers, they have all been successful, and publicly disapproving businesses are appeased with state and local grants. Our next interview, however, changes our high opinion both on KOZs and LERTers.
All right, to kind of start this interview off, what is the purpose of the Back Mountain Chamber of Commerce?
Well, the purpose basically is to help promote. We have 3 words in Back Mountain Chamber. We have 3 words that we go by. That's commerce, community, and culture. Under the commerce side, we try to promote and help businesses in the Back Mountain area. Okay, and we do that in a number of ways. We offer information. We help assist them with their business. We have seminars and so on. We have products that would help them, such as on the insurance side and energy and so on. And basically we help promote them, basically to help them grow. We also try to bring in new business too. One of the chamber committees that we started was a business growth committee that we started just last year. And we have about 20 business leaders in the Back Mountain area are part of that committee. We meet every other month. We're trying to develop a branding for the Back Mountain community and also somewhat of a marketing package.
What places do you think the economy needs improvement upon?
In the Back Mountain? One of the things we want to focus on is retail. You know, Back Mountain primarily, if you look at our membership, we've grown a lot since I started here about 5.5 years ago. We only had about 70 members when they asked me to be executive director of the Back Mountain Chamber. I'm a former bank CEO. But when we started with only about 70, we've grown now to over 200.
What do businesses think of LRTAs and KOZs passed by the Luzerne County government?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
What do businesses think of LRTAs and KOZs passed by local government?
Lordos.
LRTAs.
Are you familiar with what LRTA is? It's it stands for Local Economic Revitalization Tax Abatements, and
Oh, gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like tax abatement programs.
In KOZs?
Yeah, Keystone Opportunity Zones, where like they.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, where you're sitting right now is a KIZ zone. The Twin Stacks is a Keystone in KIZ zone. I think there's only one other one in the
Yeah, it's
whole
only like
Luzerne County.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very rare.
In KIZ zone here, companies could qualify for up to $100,000 in tax credits this year, or in a year. And those tax credits are, even if they don't use them themselves, if they don't need the tax credits, they're saleable for maybe 84 cents on a dollar or something. So that's a big attraction to a company coming into the area. But yeah, you got to be careful though with KOZs though, okay? Because they got to justify themselves. If you're just giving away too much and not getting something a good value in return, sometimes economically, I think it's something that you have to be careful about.
Have you had any businesses come into the Back Mountain area specifically because of a LRTA offering or anything along those lines?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of. So KOZs are more advantageous to the Back Mountain region than LRTAs are.
Well, I'm not even sure we have any KOZ in the Back Mountain. We have a KIZ, but not a KOZ.
A KIZ.
What's a KIZ?
Yeah.
The difference, or the thing for the KIZ is you have to create so many jobs in order to gain tax credits I just explained.
Okay.
So for a new company, let's say if they're located in the Twin Stacks Center, if they create 10 new jobs, they get tax credits equivalent to how many jobs they create, which could help them financially. Okay? KOZ, they get tax credit just for coming into
KIZ seems more stable than KOZs are, because for KIZs it's more definitive, like you only get the cuts if you hold up your end of the bargain.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
The executive director, Mr. Leandri, expresses the small business side of the argument. The chamber itself promotes business and increases the attractability of the area, in this case the Back Mountain. However, the largest takeaway from this interview is the fact that the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce for the Back Mountain did not know what a LRTA is, but instead works more with KIZs, which effectively eliminate risks of LRTAs. We have determined that a lack of communication is negatively affecting our economy and unemployment because businesses do not know what they are eligible for. For this reason, we've created an information packet on LRTAs, KOZs, and KIZs for businesses of Luzerne County. With these, local businesses and incoming businesses will be able to apply for tax abatements and bring new jobs to our community. We will distribute these packets to several county chambers June 30th to be distributed over the summer to already residing businesses and distributed henceforward to incoming businesses. We will be able to check our progress annually through the Luzerne LRTA update, where we will be able to see how many more LRTAs have been implemented. We will also be able to monitor its effect on the economy by observing the unemployment rate annually, with a goal of over 10 years that our rate will match the national current rate of 3.8% unemployment.